talking about the best books that I have read thus far according to Goodreads. I feel like Goodreads ratings, they tend to be pretty similar to how I rate the book, at least most of the time. So I feel like my highest rated books, I will probably also have rated them very highly. That's just my hypothesis. I don't know. Let's see what books I have rated the highest that many other Goodreads users also think is very good. The first book on the list is Know My Name by Chanel Miller, and the average rating of this book is a 4.72, which is really high. And I completely agree with it. This is a memoir, and it's probably the best memoir that I've read thus far. I gave it 5 stars. Yeah, I completely agree with this high rating. Definitely one of the best books that I've read. The second book on the highest rated is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Wow, okay. I guess I'm not very surprised. The average rating on this is a 4.62, and I also did give this 5 stars. This makes sense. Everyone knows what Harry Potter is. I highly recommend the books. They're also amazing. This is just like a really great book, really great conclusion to the story. I don't know what else to say about it. It's a great series. I'm actually currently rewatching the movies of this right now with my 2 friends, so and I wrote all was well for my review, which I'm pretty sure is like the last line of the book. Moving on, number 3 is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, and I gave this a 4.5 actually, and the average rating for this is a 4.6, so still super close. But yeah, this book, it was also really good. I'm not a huge fan of Kristen Hanna's writing. I read 2 of her books. This one was much better than the other one I read, but I think the story in The Nightingale, it was like really great and like really beautiful and like heartbreaking and sad. It's about World War II. Overall, I'm not a huge fan of her writing, but this was like, the story on this is what made it a 4.5, honestly. Number 4 is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I don't remember the books like super well, like each individual book super well. I mean, I think I probably gave like all of the Harry Potter books like a 4 or a 5 star. I gave this one 4 stars, and its average rating is a 4.58, so it's a little bit higher than I gave it, but still like super solid book. Next one is another Harry Potter book, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I gave this 5 stars, and its average rating is a 4.58. I really like this one. I feel like a lot of people don't really like Harry Potter books number like 5 and 6, but I really liked the Half-Blood Prince. I thought it was like really good. I think this is like my favorite book maybe, and it's also one of my favorite movies. Definitely one of the best Harry Potter books, at least for me. The next one is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I also gave this 5 stars. Its average rating is a 4.56. Again, one of my favorite books, and also like possibly just my favorite movie of the Harry Potter movies, but I love Harry Potter 4, 5, 6 in both the movie and book formats. Those ones are just superior to me. The next one is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, and this one has an average rating of 4.52, and I gave it 3.5 stars. This book was super overhyped to me. I was expecting it to be like really good because, again, like a 4.52, that's like an amazing rating on Goodreads, but I just thought that this was like pretty average. The writing, oh my god, a lot of parts during this book it felt like a fucking like millennial was writing it with all of like the stupid jokes and all that. It was like a tough read at some parts, like genuinely. It had like a cute ending and all that, but like this book was like, it was slow. It just did not live up to the hype. And it's like science fiction, and I do like science fiction, but this one, it was like a lot of scientific talk that I was like, okay, boring, like don't really care. And yeah, it was just like really redundant. Like it's just like a guy like in space for a long time, so shit could get pretty boring. But yeah, I just thought that this one was really average. Sorry, it was not a 5 star or a 4 star for me. Wow, the next one is another fucking Harry Potter book, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, which also a great book, great movie. The average rating is a 4.5, and I gave it 5 stars. So yeah, like I said, I think 4, 5, 6, well, and 7, those are like the best books in the series for me, so this is not surprising. Moving on, the next one is Becoming by Michelle Obama, also a great memoir. The average rating is a 4.48, and I gave it 5 stars. I feel like I'm just really, I don't know if I can say like biased towards memoirs, but I don't know, I feel like memoirs, they just tend to like hit me harder because it's like someone's personal story, and it's hard not to enjoy it for me personally. And it was just interesting to read about like the first lady and Obama becoming president, and it was really well written. Fuck. The next one is Homegoing by Ya Jessie. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. The average rating of this is 4.47 and I gave it a 4.5. Yeah, just right on target. This book, it was really amazing. It was like, I don't remember it like that well, but I remember it being told like throughout generations. That first of all was like a really cool idea, and it was just like really well written. That was like a really interesting and like deep read. The next one is Educated by Tara Westover, which has an average rating of 4.47 and I gave it 4 stars. Again, another really great memoir. I mean, it's not like one of my favorite memoirs, but this one, it was also really good. And this one is about a girl, well, Tara, the author, and she grew up in like a survivalist home in like the middle of like nowhere, and how she grew up and then how she moved on to, you know, going to college and making it out of that lifestyle. The one thing with this book, it was like really eye-opening, crazy story obviously of her life, but I just feel like the ending of it was like really rushed, and it seemed like all of a sudden she was like going to like fucking Harvard. Was it Harvard? I don't know, some like Ivy League college. I don't know, it just like moved really fast. It felt like that happened like all of a sudden, so I felt like it was a little bit rushed. Overall, a really good memoir, I would say. Oh look, the next one is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. The average rating of this is a 4.47 and I gave it 4 stars. Again, all of the books in the series are really good, but I would say the first one is probably the weakest one in my opinion, so I think that's why it's only 4 stars. Wow, this next one is kind of shocking. Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. The average rating is a 4.46 and I gave it 3 stars. Yeah, this one is actually really surprising. I just want to get this out of the way. I'm not like a big romance reader. I'm not like real big into like Colleen Hoover and stuff. I don't know, it was like okay, it was like decent, it was good, but these just aren't like the types of books that like I personally enjoy reading. I thought it was okay, but it wasn't like anything really amazing, so that kind of really shocks me that it has 4.46. That's like an amazing rating. To me, that's pretty overrated, but God bless. Okay, the next one is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I gave this 5 stars and the average rating is a 4.46. This one did genuinely surprise me. I was not expecting to like give it 5 stars, and as I said in the review, I have nothing bad to say about this book. I think it was really good. I still think it's really good. It's definitely the best Taylor Jenkins Reid book that I've read. I mean, the writing wasn't like amazing, but it's good writing and a really good story. Tugged at my heartstrings at the end. I completely get the hype about this one. Okay, hopefully this is the last fucking Harry Potter book. I don't even remember which ones we've gone through so far, but Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. The average rating is a 4.43 and I gave it 4 stars. Yeah, again, not one of the best Harry Potter books, but still super solid, really great book. Next up, this is gonna piss me off, is Where the Crawdad Sings by Delia Owens. This has an average rating of 4.42 and I gave it a 2.5, which it deserves. Yeah, definitely one of the most overhyped books I've ever fucking read. So boring, so redundant, and then like the plot twist, I was like, I literally could not give a fuck less. It's so mid. Hate this book. So overhyped. It's insane. When I see people on TikTok like this book, it makes me wonder. I mean, I'm trying not to judge, but it makes me wonder. Next up is The Book Thief by Marcus Suzak. And the average rating of this one is a 4.39 and I gave it a 4 star. My review kind of scared me a little bit. I think that was like one of the last things said in the book again, and this is like from the perspective of like a little girl in World War II, and also the perspective of death, which is like such a cool idea, but like I just don't think that it was written that well. Like this book like really did not hit me very hard. The writing wasn't like amazing or anything, and I don't know, I just feel like this book should have hit me harder. I feel like I should have been like more connected to it than I was, but I don't know, something about it just like wasn't connecting or hitting me hard at all. But it was still like a really good story, so that's why I gave it 4 stars. And this one, it's a really good book, but I don't think it's any sort of like 5 star. The whole death perspective is like such a cool idea. I just don't think that it was executed as well as it could have been. Next up is Wonder by RJ Palacio. I haven't even rated this book because I read this in like middle school, so I just put it as like read because I have read it, but I really don't remember anything about this. I ain't even gonna comment on it. Next up is Verity by Colleen Hoover, which is also pretty pretty surprising. I gave it a 3.5 and its average rating is a 4.38. That's probably the best Colleen Hoover book I've read. I definitely like the more like thriller aspect of this book than like her typical like romance type of book. This one, it was pretty entertaining, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just not like a huge fan of her writing. Next up is A Man Called Uva by Frederick Backman. Its average rating is a 4.38 and I gave it 3 stars. So I also think that this book is so overhyped. It was really mid. I really don't understand like why this is rated so highly. It's about like an old grouchy man, and you know, you kind of get to learn his backstory and why he is the way he is and that he's not that bad, but like it did not make me care about him as much as I think it was supposed to, and just nothing really that entertaining or exciting happened. I wasn't connected to him. It just did not like pull me in. I feel like it was supposed to. Okay, I think the last one I'm gonna do is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, and this is one of my favorite books of all time. This book, I'm surprised it's this far down because I think it's like fucking amazing. Its average rating is a 4.37 and I obviously gave it 5 stars. This book, if you don't already know, it's like a Greek retelling of Achilles and Patroclus and the Trojan War. Is that it? Girl, I don't know shit about fucking Greek mythology. This is definitely like the best romance book I've ever read. Great writing, great story, so emotional, so hard-hitting. Didn't even feel like I was reading. I was just like fully engrossed in this story. It was just truly beautiful. I'm gonna need to reread this soon. One of the only books that has ever made me cry. I need to read her other book. Highly recommend. You don't need to know shit about Greek mythology to read this, by the way. That's why I was scared to read this. I wasn't really planning to read this, but because of like all the hype it was getting on TikTok, I decided to, and I'm so glad I did. God bless this book. If you haven't read The Song of Achilles, what the fuck are you doing? Go and buy that shit at Barnes & Noble right now. You'll thank me later. I will never find a love like them.